mental tweets. We forgot to do this last week. I sent everybody a break, and we never came back and did the best
tweet of the week from James Woods.
So this is hilarious. Now get this. It says, this is David Martin. I have no idea who the guy is, but it's at David MA 973-14110 because 973-14109 was taken.
What's old David have to say in his tweet?
He was replying to a James Wood tweet, but he said, "Are you still acting, or is the career washed up?" And James Wood replies back, "I wish your mom had washed up. My dog is sick now." Hashtag Instablock.
Well, as we compile this stuff, it's like Donnie said, you start compiling a tweet of the week from James Woods. It's like a 2-day process because you gather them all up, and he's got so many epic ones, you just don't know what to choose. I mean, it's like literally throwing a dart at a board.
Or you and I, even before Green Room, we could be talking to each other in the afternoon, and here comes listen to this James Wood tweet, and I'll say it, and you're like, that's pretty funny, but listen to this. And it's back and forth, they're all good. There's just which one's the best? He
definitely gets more mileage out of Twitter than the average person does. I mean,
no, there's no doubt about it. He's a Twitter fool, and I'm not a Twitter fool, but I pay attention to Twitter way more now just because of him.
Yeah. And if you look at the timestamps that he's tweeting this stuff, the guy spends all day long on Twitter, man. I mean,
he does.
He's throwing up.
It could be in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he's throwing up 25 tweets a day probably, and the majority of them are pretty funny.
I throw up 25 tweets a year.
Yeah. Well, if you guys follow us on Twitter, you guys will notice that's probably not our strong suit as far as the social media platforms go. We're probably not that strong at Twitter.
Yeah, we're weakest on Twitter, strongest on Instagram.
Mm-hmm, yeah, definitely.
And then Facebook when it works, and then Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's slacking.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Twitter, man. They were it, and then Instagram just came up like the Cookie Monster and ate them up.
I don't know, man. Because Twitter was the one to. I don't know. I think their limit on characters kind of hurts them a little bit. I mean, even though they went up to 240 characters, it's still hard to squeeze in what you want to say sometimes.
Exactly. Well, that's the third segment of this podcast. We're going to take a break real quick. I'm going to have you listen to some really cool music while we're gone. We'll be back. Are back from the potty and back from the fridge and everything else that we needed to do on break. Glad you guys could stay with us, and hopefully you guys got a break in there too. And not much, because that means the break is a lot longer than what the music has, because we can't pee that fast. I'm 52. It just doesn't work that way. So anyways, we're back, and I wanted to bring up our favorite girlfriend, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
AOC.
Oh my God. Democrat from New York. The Bronx.
Of all places, yeah.
Is she from the Bronx or is she from Brooklyn?
Brooklyn sounds familiar.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
To me.
I think it's Brooklyn.
Yeah.
My apologies, J-Lo. She's not from the Bronx. You're from the Bronx, J-Lo. Jenny from the Bronx. So, yeah, she said on Saturday, she was talking, because that's all she does, is talk. She doesn't really have anything to say. She just talks.
Mm-hmm.
She said on Saturday that people should be excited about being automated out of work, and suggests that she supports taxing corporations at 90%. All right. Let me take off my ball cap. I don't have one on, but if I had one on, I'd take it off. Honey, if you tax businesses at 90%, they won't stay open. Therefore, they won't have jobs they won't be paying taxes because they won't be open. So instead of collecting 90% of Look, collecting 25% of something is better than collecting 90% of nothing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what my mama taught me.
Let me repeat that. Collecting 25% of something is better than collecting 90% of nothing. AOC,
Make a note of that.
I've said this in the past, and I'll say it again. AOC, you need to get on board or you're going to get left behind, sugar.
Oh, yeah.
True
Well,
that.
I mean, I just feel like we need to make a prerequisite for being in Congress that you have to have some common sense. I mean, the stuff that she spits out of her face just doesn't make any sense. We need to be excited that we can be automated out of work. Like, who wants to get excited that they don't have a job?
Well, first off, I'm one of those people that doesn't mind lawmakers being lawyers.
No, that doesn't bother me.
Right? This chick could never pass law school.
Oh, no.
So, kind of making me wish maybe that was a prerequisite.
It makes you wonder if, like, when she's sitting on the floor behind her desk, like, does she feel intimidated? Does she realize that these people are a lot more intelligent than her? And that's why she just talks to make noise, and she's hoping she's fooling people that she has intelligence?
She's using big words, and she has no idea what they mean.
She doesn't even use big words, really. I mean,
well, she
just
did.
rambles.
Well, I mean, look at. Let me read this statement again. People should be excited about being automated out of work. Okay, automated is not a verb, first off. So how can you be automated out of work? I just don't understand. There's a better phrase that she could put, and she didn't use. And then second, she made some remarks. She was at the damn South by Southwest conference.
Oh, God.
And festival in Austin, which I would love to go to, by the way.
Oh, that would be, kicking the pants.
Yeah, for sure. Suggested that former President Ronald Reagan was a racist.
There's that word again.
And then
there's that word, that use of that word.
Yes. And then she said, we should not be haunted by the specter of being automated out of work. Okay, there's that verb that's not a verb being used as a verb. And that sentence makes no sense. We should not be haunted by the specter of being automated out of work. And I think what she's trying to get at is robots taking over. But
yeah, I think that was the gist of it.
Yeah. And so I get the gist, but I don't get the wording. I just,
Well, she two weeks ago there was a statement of hers floating around, and she used the term Latinx, the Latinx population, and I'm like, what is that? That's her non-gender. Instead of using Latino or Latina, she's now using Latinx, so it is non-gender specific.
Sounds like a tampon for Latina people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're totally changing the rules of their language. Like, I mean, Spanish has masculine and feminine word. I can't believe she does this.
My
stuff.
junk is bleeding. Does anybody have a Latinx?
I feel like people say that Trump makes up words. I think she's on that bandwagon and just making up her own vocabulary words now.
Something, first off, if Trump does mispronounce words, I don't have a problem with it. He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
He made money. He's smart enough to make money. If you remember back for George H.W., when we had potato boy and tomato boy, he wasn't a billionaire.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd like to be rich enough I could just talk any way I want. That'd be cool.
Yeah. If I'm a billionaire and I want to point at my car and say diaper, well, you better call my car a diaper. I'm going to fire you.
Yeah. Like that's how you know you've made it in life.
Right.
When you're so rich you can just talk any way you want. People agree with it.
Yeah. But if you're not a billionaire, don't be stupid.
Yeah, you're an idiot if you talk like that.
Oh, God, we should not be haunted by the specter of being automated out of work. We should not feel nervous about, the toll booth collector not having to collect tolls anymore.
Well, if I was a toll booth collector, I'd be pretty concerned about that. Like, I don't want to be automated out of that job.
Hell no. I'd be like talking to the steward for my toll booth union.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they are a union. And she said, we should be excited about that. But the reason we're not excited by it is because we live in a society where if you don't have a job, you are left to die. And that is at its core a what? What?
I can't wrap my head around any of this, man. Like,
AOC, please, tiddyandShinerShow@gmail.com. Email us. Let me know what you meant by that.
I mean, I don't understand how they think people, like, nobody should have to work. I mean,
when my butthole could win a debate with her, because I've been accused of talking out my ass before.
you're right. I'm putting my money on your asshole.
Right? Yeah.
Every time.
It'd win the
Every
debate.
time, man. In a debate between you two, you bet.
Jeez. You know,
But there's people that support what she says. There's people that jump on board with it and think she's brilliant. I mean,
well, she appeared to support Bill Gates' idea of taxing robots at 90%. Here again, tax them robots 90%. You go right ahead, sugar. And make sure that you stay by your mailbox because them checks are going to come rolling in. They will, one by one.
just wait patiently. They're coming.
Those companies will send out those checks for those robots at $0.00 and send it right to your mailbox.
90% of nothing.
Again, 25% of something is better than 90% of nothing. I started with it. I'll finish with it. AOC, your brain is about the size of a pecan.
Economics is not her strong point.
No.
It's not, man.
No.
It gives us material every week, so I'm not going to gripe about it,
And she said, well, what that means, what he's really talking about is taxing corporations at 90%. But it's easier to say robot. What?
Yeah, you got me, man. I don't understand any of this. This is like a gigantic, really long played out Saturday Night Live skit.
I almost wish that we would start recording this and because every time I read one of her sentences, I look directly at the camera.
Yeah, and squint.
And just squint. Like, what in the hell is she trying to say?
Like you're in pain.
Yes. I don't get it. Economic security for all who are unable or unwilling to work. Just like them robots, they don't get paid. Can they quit?
Well, that's a good question. What if the robots quit? What's that going to do to her plan?
They have a massive wall. And the AOC's like, there goes 30%.
Yeah, screwed now.
Oh, dude, I love having her in Congress right now because it, again, gives us so much to... The level of her stupidity.
Yeah, not a one. There's not a bound that it knows.
I wish I could say, but I don't.
No, I mean, I can't even. I've put effort into it. Like, okay, just nothing she says makes any sense.
I don't know. I would love to have had her at the We Are Tulsa Music Awards. That would have been funny just to watch her get up and talk about something she knows nothing about, and then use adjectives as verbs and stuff. That'd been. But speaking of the We Are Tulsa Music Awards, I was there. You were not. You were in the hospital.
Points again for a good segue, but points again for a great segue.
You were dorky as usual and went to the hospital. Thank you.
Well,
it was fun. It was fun. First off, I got to say thank you to the IDL Ballroom and Enzo Bar and the Unicorn Bar. Guess there is a bar in Tulsa called the Unicorn Bar, and it's cool as crap. Don't make fun of it. No shame. These bars are interconnected with the ballroom. That was a great place to have this We Are Tulsa Music Awards. It was packed. So we're going to have to find something bigger next year. Not sure what they're going to do. I've heard rumors, but I cannot make it public, so we will find out. But there was one band that did absolutely fantastic. Travis Bond and the Rebel Souls. Those guys are great. If you guys get a chance, get on iTunes, download their album, take a listen to it. The entire album is good. Also, the show was opened up by a band, Western Horn and the Hush. That music that I just played, or interlude in between the first segment and the second segment, that's Western Horn and the Hush. They are a killer band. They're out of, they are, I believe, a 9-piece band, has a horn section. Fantastic opening. It got the crowd up. It got the crowd moving, and you can tell by that tune. You can't feel down when you listen to that tune. You can't not tap your toes when you listen to that tune. I don't care if you don't like kind of a funk beat with horn section. You still can't help but tap your toes.
No, their songs always have a good energy to put you in a good mood.